Hey guys, let's talk about meal planning, meal prep, nutrition, and how to make it simple. So, every single one of us has a different life, different things going on in life, different commitments. So, we really have to stop and think about what makes things simple for us. So, for myself, it is we always grocery shop on Thursday, cleaning out my fridge on Wednesday. So I know that I have room for all my new groceries. And then after I make my list, which is a very, very basic list most of the weeks, it's usually the same foods over and over and over because I like to keep things simple. I'm not a recipe person. I don't do well with recipes. I like to just kind of switch up sauces and textures and seasonings and stuff, but for the most part, we eat a pretty basic diet of just clean foods that are just rotated in different forms. So when I go to the grocery store, say I bought turnips and eggplants this week, and I don't normally buy that, I'm gonna write that on a meal prep board that I have in my kitchen. It's just a dry erase board with Monday through Friday. I got it at Target for like $3 and it's pretty big. And I don't write out like Monday I'm gonna have this, Tuesday I can't be that structured, but I know what's in my fridge, and that's important. As last week I ordered pizza because I was just overwhelmed, I was stressed out, and I was super reactive on emotional level that I was like, I don't even want to begin to go in that fridge and like figure out something, so I'm just gonna order pizza. But on those weeks where I'm planned enough to know that I have a good base of food, and I can look and say, okay, we have eggplant, and I'm gonna look up an Instapot meal with eggplant. And most of the time, the Instapot recipes are pretty simple. So that by far is like my kitchen secret is the Instapot. And when I make, like, I have grilled chicken or Instapot chicken a lot, I make enough for 2 or 3 meals, because I'm not one of those meal prep people with like the cute little containers all sectioned out. Like, I can't live that life. It's too structured for me. Um, but knowing that I have like those basics, that I can use grilled chicken for a salad or a stir fry, or just eat it with like a sweet potato. That's another thing I do. I usually try to meal prep like 4 or 5 sweet potatoes, so I have that kind of hanging out in my fridge. That a baked potato and a baked sweet potato and a chicken breast a lot of times, and some frozen broccoli are like my jam. I try to buy most of my veggies frozen. They're actually the most nutritious that way. Um, they are harvested and directly frozen, so the lag time is a lot smaller than, say, something that was picked. Most of the time in today's society, food is picked very early, so it is pretty much premature when it's picked, and then it's kind of artificially ripened a little in different controlled environments. So the bananas that you buy on Tuesday are like super ripe and yellow, but they were probably picked quite a while ago. So I try to do the frozen because A, they're not going to go bad, and B, they are more nutritious for you. I do very little canned veggies. They're kind of gross. They creep me out. I try to meal prep a rice or a quinoa or something like that. And then again, I can throw that in the crock pot or the Instapot or the rice cooker. Super easy. And then, like, breakfast, I usually do Shakeology and sometimes toast. It depends. And a lot of times I just beef up my Shakeology. I add chia seeds or spinach, a banana, and I make that kind of a hearty breakfast. Lunches, I keep it simple, like the grilled chicken, and a lot of times it's just whatever we had the night before. I made enough of it so that it was leftover, so I have a lot of leftovers for lunch. That's for my dinner. And I do a lot of broccoli slaw, cabbage, like coleslaw mix that I add to a stir fry. And I'm pretty much like always trying to sneak a veggie or two into what I'm cooking. I really like to do a tempeh, like sloppy joe with cauliflower rice. That's another one of my secrets. Cauliflower rice, having like 18 bags of that on hand all of the time. I have a good recipe for like turning that into like a cauliflower rice risotto. I made a Hawaiian fried rice with it last week. And I keep my recipes so simple. Like I literally just come up with stuff in my head because I can't measure, and oh my gosh, sorry, it's just too much for me. Um and my journey with nutrition has been all over the board. I didn't grow up in a household that had a lot of money, so if we did eat out, it was like fast food, and we bought like the cheapest of cheap. I didn't have baked fish that wasn't a fish stick until I was probably 18 or 19 years old. So I didn't really learn a lot growing up about cooking healthy, nutritious meals. I learned about cooking like quick fix, frozen from a box, or like hamburger helper type of meals. So when I was in college and almost 200 pounds on my little 5'2" frame, I kind of had a come to Jesus moment when I was a sophomore that, oh my gosh, I'm like really not healthy. And I took a nutrition class that was a requirement to graduate, and it was a lifesaver. I learned about nutrition in a whole different way. I learned about having a healthy lifestyle. I definitely throughout the years did a lot of bad anorexic type behaviors. Some of that still sticks with me. Restricting, a lot of times will have to like really track and pay attention to tracking what I'm eating, because I have a tendency to like be a stress not eater. So when I get stressed, I don't eat, and then that's not good for your metabolism or your body because you need nutrients. I did the diet pill route, which is not good at all. I did Weight Watchers, which taught me how to use food that was pretty much always artificially manufactured to be the least calories wise, for the least points. So it wasn't until I started learning about food on a whole different level of the nutritional value of food that I started to really feel good. And once I started eating that clean diet, I had the natural energy. My gut health started to get better, because a lot of people don't know your serotonin, which is kind of your happy chemical, is made in your stomach. Like 90% of it's made in your stomach. Very little of it's made in your brain. So if you really start focusing on your gut health, you start to feel better naturally, and it helps. It's almost like a natural antidepressant. So I became more enthusiastic. I had more energy to get through my day, and I was able to get completely off of all of my ridiculous anxiety meds, and also using personal development on with the clean eating just really transformed my life in a way that I can't even imagine my life being what it was before. So you guys, Laura and I have a lot of knowledge when it comes to nutrition, when it comes to really fueling your body the right way. So I would love to know, what your real struggle points are right now. And I'm asking you all to be a little bit vulnerable, and you don't have to be vulnerable in this group. I totally understand that. It's a comfort zone level that it takes a while to get out there and share your story. But if you're struggling with something, until you work on it up here and open those doors and get some of those skeletons out of the closet, you're really gonna just be on that roller coaster, because you're always gonna have to keep learning that lesson that you're really not learning. Or you have to change that behavior that you really haven't changed. A lot of our relationships with food happen at a very young age. And it's super hard to break those habits and what's ingrained in us, and to learn a new lifestyle. So we get it. We understand. Like, Laura and I definitely come from a very similar background, and a lot of our knowledge is knowledge that we sought out on purpose. So I would love to know where you guys want us to take this group over the next couple weeks, because we're only starting week 3. So we have quite a few more weeks together, and we want to make sure that you are getting the most out of this group, and that it helps us as well. And challenge me, ask me questions I don't know the answer to, so I can seek you out an answer. But you guys are doing awesome. We're starting week 3. Let's get pumped. Let's have a awesome week, and let me know if I can help with any tips, okay?